Russian settlement. And it was through the kindness and generosity of the Tlingit people that the Russians were able to stay, because the Tlingit people was teaching them how to live off the land and use the plants and other things medicinally to help get them well. And in 1867, when Alaska sold, it also meant great change for the Tlingit people. When Alaska sold, the Russian ships came in and they just took all their people and they left. There were interracial marriages, but most of them would leave with the Russian ships. As we go through these stoplights and travel just a short ways, on the left you're going to see a lake. Today the lake is known as Swan Lake, and a long time ago it was known to the Tlingit people as Huatinaku, and to the Russians it was Lake Labashia. This is a man-built lake, and it was built for the sole purpose of selling the ice. Now, just to give you an example here, our average summer temperature is between 55 and 65, although the temperatures do get higher, they don't usually last long. And our average winter temperature is between 35 and 45. We do get freezing temperatures, but they also don't last long. The Russians built this lake for the sole purpose of selling the ice, which was not very profitable for them, but they did it. In the winter, they would take that top layer of ice, they would wrap it in burlap and sawdust, and they would put it on steamer ships down to San Francisco. When Alaska sold for $7.2 million. The $0.2 million was for this lake right here and the unfulfilled contract between the Russians and San Francisco. We are now approaching the main intersection of town, and it connects the two main roadways that we have here. 7 miles going out north is our Halibut Point Road. 7 miles going south is our Sawmill Creek Road. 14 miles of main roadway with a total of 33 miles of paved road. So it's kind of hard to get lost. If you feel like you might be lost, head towards the ocean and it will bring you back to the main roads and get you where you're going. Now, just to give you guys an example, a long time ago when I first started doing tours, about 20 years ago, the average cost of a home was about $350,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Today, it is going for somewhere around $500,000 on up for the same kind of house. We have 3 main industries here: fishing, tourism, and healthcare. We're a year-round town. We do not shut down in the wintertime. So those of us who work in the seasonal industries such as tourism and fishing will most likely have a second job. You can go into a grocery store and buy a loaf of bread, and we're talking the inexpensive, no hullabaloo bread for $2.50 a loaf. A gallon of milk is about just shy of $6, and the price of gasoline, the last time I fueled up, was $5.16 per gallon. So 20 years ago when I first started doing tours, the average household income for a single family would have been about $30,000 to $40,000. Today it is about $75,000. I missed the entrance for the park, so we are going to turn around and go back. My apologies. I was just on a roll with my tour.
That's okay. My husband does the same thing. He gets to talking and we miss all the exits.
We're just on the bus that does whatever we feel like doing. Such a beautiful day that I was just cruising the streets and hanging out.
So did you say that the highest high is like 65?
It's the average between 55 and 65 degrees.
Okay.
Although temperatures can get higher, just like the other day I was out on the boat with my family and it was like 70 degrees.
Okay, beautiful. So you get some snow, but not a lot of snow?
We do get snow. When we get it usually, because 100 inches of precipitation a year, 80% of it is in the form of rain. So most of the time it's gonna snow. It might last a couple of days and then it's gonna rain and go away.
Gotcha.
Right here is a national cemetery. But this last winter, I was so sick of snow, it wasn't even funny. My philosophy is you do not have to shovel rain. I prefer it. So at some point, I actually hired a couple of teenagers to come and shovel my driveway. And the reason why I hired a couple of teenagers is because although I still have 5 kids at home, the only boy that I have is 11.
Yeah.
And he's very, very tiny for an 11-year-old. And I think a shovel full of snow might have weighed more than him. I'm trying to turn my air conditioner on, but it didn't work. Did I
feel it.
There we go. I just didn't push the button down. This right here on our left is Sheldon Jackson College campus. Although it is no longer in operation today, it still serves a purpose. It houses our Sitka Fine Arts Camp that children from all over the place and young adults come to participate in the summertime. I'm about to pull up and I will, at the park, I'm going to go ahead and let you out of the bus. I will be right back at 10:45 to pick you up, to take you to the Native Tales. There is, right down on this side of the park is a Waterside Entrance where you'll see more totem poles. Down in the front of the building is where you're going to find the restrooms. You don't have to go into the main building. But if you would like, you could go inside the building and enjoy the facility. And then right here is another entrance. Here in just a few moments.
Volcanic power plant, Matt, for every 10,000
Probably.
years. You get power every 10,000 years.
Look at this rock, Dad.
Take a good zoom picture just because.
Look at this rock.
Whoa.
It's a
Nice.
grid. Mommy, look at this rock.
Oh yeah.
Maddie.
I found an alive one, Dad.
had to find a place to rest for the evening on the side you were stuck on, or you swam across. Japansky Island is named, it's the Russian word for Japanese, and Japansky Island is named after some Japanese fishermen who were stranded here. Although Japansky Island is part of the city and borough of Sitka. And I mentioned to you that 10,000 military personnel had come into here and were stationed here in Sitka. This right here, the island houses our U.S. Coast Guard port station, air station, and their housing. It houses Mount Edgecombe hospitals. That is built in remnants left over from World War II. It was built as a tuberculosis clinic. The University of Alaska Southeast is in a hangar left over from World War II. And then the Mount Edgecombe High School, their gymnasium is also in the remnants of a hangar left over. And you'll also see an air station still attached to it, although it is no longer in operation today. There was a small landing strip over here. And then also on the, and I tell you we're on an island, there's only two ways to get on and off the island, and that is by boat or by airplane. We do have Sitka Rocky Gutierrez Airport, and it houses Alaska Airlines year round, and then in the summer it also houses Delta. This right here, have you guys ever seen the proposal?
No.
Were led here, the Kiksati people. They were led here and they settled here. I also introduced myself as Kiksati.